Ershad, Diwali is not until next week, so why exactly are you lighting a diya right now?
Well, Diwali for everyone might be next week, but for us tech nerds, it's already here.
What?
Well, after years of begging, tweeting, and ranting to the tech gods, Vivo has done the one thing that we've all been asking for. It is finally replacing FunTouch OS with OriginOS. Say hello to OriginOS 6, which is coming to a Vivo and iQOO phone near you really soon. I'm sure that a lot of Vivo fans expected it to never reach India, but I guess never say never. So let's talk about OriginOS 6. So happy Diwali, let's begin this video. And if you're watching me for the first time, I'm Ershad. This is Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. I know that the first thing that everybody wants to know is that when is OriginOS 6 coming to your Vivo phone? Well, unfortunately, at the time of shooting this video, we do not have the rollout information. But the moment we get to know it, the pinned comment should have all the details. With that said, when we had the briefing for OriginOS 6, Vivo said that they had three big focus areas: smoothness, design, and personal intelligence. And let's start with the most noticeable one, the smoothness. Vivo says they've reworked the entire animations, not just on the surface, but under the hood as well. And you know what? It's not just marketing talk. It actually does feel smoother. So take the control center, for instance. The animation of the Wi-Fi and battery icons when you swipe down is smoother now. It's more refined compared to FunTouch OS 15 for sure. And everything feels more cohesive, whether it's app opening, transitions, and even scrolling. There's a refinement. And you know the internet's favorite speed test, opening and minimizing apps one after the other? Well, OriginOS 6 aces that too. And the major reason for that is there are two specific engines that Vivo has used to refine the animations. That's Origin Smoothness Engine and the SnapUp engine. This is a new special addition that ensures that there are no micro lags or stutters that you notice, or even frame drops for that matter, that you used to notice with FunTouch OS. All of that has gone with OriginOS 6. And visually, the new blur transitions and the morphing effects that are throughout the UI, it makes the UI feel more premium to use now. Now coming to the design, if you thought, like many of us, that there was no fun in FunTouch OS, you might have to take that back, because OriginOS 6 is a clear upgrade in feel, in UI, and in premiumness. Now starting with the control center, it has a glass finish which looks very beautiful. But given Vivo's added flexibility, you can open the quick settings from the top right corner and the notification panel from the top left, or you can combine both if you want, like many Android skins do. Then there's the new settings page, which gets a card style categorization. It looks clean and very organized, almost like OriginOS's card layout, but more elegant. Now, of course, you get a default font icon, but the new Vivo Sans one looks very clean. It looks minimal and very modern as well. I actually switched to that one. Even app icons have this soft design with rounded edges and added depth. By the way, we also noticed that there are a lot of new visual elements and the UI feels a lot more consistent now. And you combine that with the new symbols and data charts, for example, the battery graph, the UI does feel very visual and consistent. But the best visual design change in OriginOS 6 is to the AOD and lock screen, and it does look pretty good. So the transition from the AOD to the lock screen now happens through an animation similar to OriginOS's Flux themes. It's smooth and it's visually satisfying as well. You can also now mix and match different lock screen styles, and Vivo calls it combination locker, where you can copy the clock font and animation style of one lock screen onto another. Then you have flip cuts, which lets you add 2 or 3 photos in a single lock screen. Once you tilt your phone left or right, it cycles through them with this really cool transition. There's also a colorful photo lock screen where you can create a wallpaper that looks like a magazine cover. There are 3 templates by default, and you can tweak the colors too. And my personal favorite is the film filter lock screen, which lets you apply cinematic filters on your photos before setting them as your lock screen. There's a lot to it, and easily this is possibly one of the best lock screen customizations on Android skins right now. By the way, one thing I noticed is that the notifications are also stacked at the bottom on the lock screen itself now. Then there's a change in how the volume controls look. The newer control looks more refined and polished. And see this tiny arrow here? You can tap on it to open up individual volume control for notifications, alarm, and ringtones. In fact, the sliders inside the settings app have a new look with an added glow effect that looks pretty attractive. But I'm fairly certain that this glow effect will be resource intensive, so it probably might come only to flagships and not to budget Vivo phones, but we'll have to wait and watch. Widgets, by the way, also get a new revamp. There are now new categories for health, which has 4 widgets, device management, which has 2 widgets showing the status of the connected accessories such as the TWS. And you also get recorder and notes widgets. It's also smoother to add and resize widgets now, and their animations match the rest of the OS. Speaking of the home screen, the folder management is now a lot more dynamic. On FunTouchOS 15, you could only shrink or enlarge the folder in 2 ways. Now you can resize it in 3 different ways, and each comes with a very slick animation. A lot of small touches to animation, visual design, all of that makes this OriginOS upgrade feel like a huge upgrade coming from FunTouchOS 15. Finally, let's talk about the AI focus, and it starts with something called Origin Island, and let me explain what happens there. Instead of just showing notifications, it does a whole lot more, taking advantage of the on-device AI. It displays live system status and app updates, but you can also drag and drop information onto the island. For instance, you can drag and drop an image, a note, or a file, and it will intelligently recommend what you can do with it. For example, it will recommend quick image sharing or app suggestions for sharing info, cross-app data sharing, copy and go, where you copy content and it instantly suggests relevant actions or apps. Basically, it's an AI-driven multitasking hub now. It's a very cool way to use that island. One of the major updates with OriginOS 6 is that it now integrates with your PC. There's a new feature called Office Kit, which makes your Vivo phone connect with your Windows PC and Mac, and this is very similar to what Moto did with Moto Smart Connect. You can drag and drop files directly between your phones and your laptop. You can mirror your screen in real time. You can continue tasks using notifications. Also, under the hood, there's an intelligent computing platform that manages all the resources very smoothly. But I'm fairly certain that this Office Kit feature would be limited to the flagship phones. I'm sure that the X series will get it. Maybe some of the Vivos, the V series, the high-end ones will get it, but the lower-end ones might not get it. But if they do bring it, that'd be great. There are some other small but notable changes that we definitely want to highlight as well. For example, there's a new About Phone page which is redesigned to look cleaner and more graphical. There's a new themes interface with more themes to choose from. And of course, the AOD's been improved so it visually follows your lock screen design for that seamless look. You know, a word that I've used a lot in my previous reviews of FunTouchOS is that while it is utilitarian, all of the design elements don't feel very cohesive. Well, that changes with OriginOS 6. Everything is cohesive. So yeah, OriginOS 6 feels like Vivo's biggest software overhaul till date. And if FunTouchOS 15 was functional, I feel like OriginOS 6 is smooth, it's stylish, and it's also pretty intelligent and feels more fun to touch. Don't get any dirty ideas. So the animations, the defined control center, Origin Island, and especially the lock screen customizations make OriginOS 6 stand out, and your Vivo phone will, feel like a completely new phone. And honestly, I'd rather have a premium OS, premium feeling OS like OriginOS 6 than something that's dated. So Vivo and iQOO users in the house, how excited are you for OriginOS 6? Because this is huge for all of us, right? I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.